Verse 19. And the young man did not delay to do the thing, because he delighted in Jacob's daughter. Now he was the most honored of all his father's house. So Shechem, okay, he's not, he took this to heart, and it states that he was very honorable, so people looked up to him. No, he's the prince, and he's the most important kind of in the family, it seems like, the most loved, like Joseph kind of on the other side. And so he is going to do something about this. Okay, so what's he going to do? Verse 20. So Hamor and his son Shechem came to the gate of the city and spoke to the men of the city, saying, These men are at peace with us. Let them dwell in the land and trade in it. For behold, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters as wives, and let us give them our daughters. Okay, so what they do is what you're supposed to do. They go to the city where everybody's discussing these kinds of questions in the day, in their culture, and then they spoke to the men of the city there, right? And they tell him, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So now they need to sweeten the deal for the people in the city, okay, in their city state. Even though they're like the king and the prince, etc., they still need those people to be in agreement on this, right? So they are at peace with us. They are at peace with us. Okay, so they're not a danger. Okay, really? Yeah, right. After you raped the sister, they're at peace with you? Nah. Anyhow, but they can't say, we did this. They can't say, okay, my son wants to get married to their daughter. He raped her. Some of them might have known. Maybe all the gossip already spread. But sure, he's not going to start. They're not starting like that by stating everything that happened before. They're just mentioning we are at peace with them. So even after what I did, no, they're not fighting us. There's no war. Okay, it was bad, but also stressing that point. It's not dangerous for us. So let them then dwell. Right? We're in peace. Let them dwell here. Okay, and trade here. And because there's enough space. Okay. Later on, Jacob and Esau, they can't live together because seemingly not enough space for all of them. Here they're saying, no, there's enough space. There's enough space for all. Okay. And we can take their daughters as wives, and we can give our daughters to them. Just look over all those virile sons that this guy has. Verse 22. Only on this condition will the men agree to dwell with us, to become one people, when every male among us is circumcised, as they are circumcised. And now the bad part comes. There's one condition. All great, wonderful, but there's this one condition, and it's such a big thing. We need to get circumcised. It's not a big thing, right? Well, no. Verse 23. Will not their livestock, their property, and all their beasts be ours? Only let us agree with them, and they will dwell with us. So, after throwing this in there that we need to be circumcised, he sweetens the deal again by saying, but everything they have will be ours. Now, that's not what he told Jacob. You want to be in peace with people? You're going to take everything from them? Kind of? Okay. Well, in a certain sense, if we marry them and they marry us, then kind of it becomes ours. So it's not to say that he had this intention of, okay, we will take it all by war, but more just plain the intention of, there's marriage going on, so it kind of becomes ours, right? So just let them dwell with us. Verse 24. And all who went out of the gate of the city listened to Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male was circumcised. All who went out of the gate of his city. Right? So they all agreed. They're all going out, all of the people going, so going, coming, going out of the city, gate of the city. In other words, this is the inhabitants, because they live in the city, so they're going out. Right? This is not the people coming in who are non-inhabitants. These are the people going out. That means the inhabitants, right? The ones who have the vote. Right? They were all in agreement. So they were circumcised. They were in agreement, so they were circumcised. Verse 25. On the third day, when they were sore, two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and came against the city while it felt secured, and killed all the males. Okay, so 3 days later, when they could not fight back because they were on their beds in pain, right? Levi and Simeon, knowing this, right, this was the plan all along, they came and they killed them. Now you can say, oh, how is this even going to work? How is it possible for them to go from house to house killing? Where's the wives? Won't the wives make sound or something like that? Now, with them in pain and sore and all of that, I guess there was quite a lot of wailing as is going on in the city, so a bit more wailing is not really going to change things. Yeah, we don't exactly know why the girls and the wives didn't try to stop or do anything against two guys with a sword. But anyhow, they themselves, the men themselves, could not do anything because they were in pain. Okay, and sure, yeah. So basically, that's that. They killed them all. We don't know how many, but sure, they killed a lot of people there. All very bad. We're going to see later on at the end of Genesis how Jacob is going to remind them of this, of what they did here. Verse 26. They killed Hamor and his son Shechem with a sword and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went away. So last one they get to, after killing them all, they gets to the king's palace or house and kills them, who started this whole thing, and took Dinah. Okay, so we see here that she was still with them. Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city because they had defiled the sister. So now maybe they went back after seeing, okay, they saw the Simeon and Levi comes with Dinah, and how would they have been able to get her back is only if they fought a war, if they did something and they conquered them, right? How they, again, most likely could have put two and two together, so they went into the city to now plunder the city, to take from them because they defiled their sister. Verse 28. They took their flocks and their herds, their donkeys, and whatever was in the city and in the field. All their wealth, all the little ones and the wives, all that was in the houses, they captured and plundered. Okay, so they took it all. The wives, the children that's left. Okay, they took it all. The livestock, the money, everything they took because of the rape. Now, this is sure not an eye for an eye kind of experience. This is more a modern day experience. You kill 1,000 of ours, we kill 50,000 of yours kind of idea. Right? This is not the right way to do things. Sure not. They were not right. Moses clearly states, and Jacob will hold it against them. Okay, so morally they were wrong. Yes, killing Shechem, yeah, sure. But killing the whole town because of this? No, not even in that day was this right. It was wrong. The Bible and the author clearly states it's wrong. They give an explanation for why, and the way it's going to be used later on, we see that, that it was wrong. It was morally wrong. It's not justification. This kind of mass murder is not justification for rape. Rape is evil, but this is even worse. So yeah, they got rich from other people. In this case, fighting. Not in the right way. In a wrong way. Verse 30. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me stink to the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. My numbers are few, and if they gather themselves against me and attack me, I shall be destroyed, both I and my household." So Jacob told him, now there's a problem, because now they're going to hate us, like after what we did. They're not going to fall for this, and we are just but a small group. We don't have Esau's men to protect us now, right? If they gather all against us and attack us, we're done for. All of us will die, right? Your sister will die as well, she might not die. They will take her and rape her again. And what about the others? Okay, And this is now why he is against it, and going to remind them so much later on again about all of this that's wrong. But their answer is, but they said, verse 31, should he treat our sister like a prostitute? In other words, we're justified in what we did because of the way he treated our sister. Now, maybe they felt that Jacob didn't care enough, right? And this is why ultimately they did this. I don't think that here they are, I'm just saying they are justifying themselves. Okay, Jacob said what he did is wrong, and they're like, but he defiled our sister, so we had to stand up for her. But not in this way. Okay, so I don't think you need to think of or see this as like saying that you never cared about her. And so if you would have cared, you would have agreed with us. Maybe there's a slight hint of that in there. But the truth is, even if he cared to the utmost, he knew this is not right. And he would have acted the same way. So I don't think you need, again, to read in too much into these words and to see that Jacob, she was defiled, she was raped by him, and he didn't care at all. No, I don't think so. And this is not. They're just trying to justify their sin here. And even if he cared like he cared for Joseph, he would have still saw this as wrong, because it is wrong.